All right, so today I'm going to show you how you can do these on your calculator. There are keystrokes to do it. They're not necessarily easier. So if you're thinking, hey, I don't have to memorize these formulas, sorry, you still do. Okay, so this was a question on your Castle Learning. Find the sum of the geometric series to the 8th term given a sub 3 is negative 12 and a sub 6 is 96. All right, so we are doing geometric and we want to do a summation. So there's the formula. All right, so n. What was it? They wanted me to do the first 8 terms. What was the first term? Well, the third term was negative 12, so I don't even know what the first term is. Do I know what r is? No. Wait, I gotta go do some side work here. All I know is what n is. That's all they told me. So anytime I see an n, I can put in the number 8. So I have to come back over here, and I know that the third term is negative 12. I don't know the fourth, don't know the fifth. I do know the sixth term is 96. So negative 12 was multiplied by 1, 2, 3, and that got me to 96. Okay, let's run the math real quick. R cubed is negative 8, so r is negative 2 when I take the cube root. But I still need to know what the first term is. So I still need to do some more work. So I'm going to erase that. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to go backwards. So I don't know what the first term is. I don't know what the second term is. I do know that the third term is negative 12. So something got multiplied by r, which was negative 2, to get me to negative 12. So that would be 6. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. So then basically you realize we're dividing by negative 2. So negative 3 was a sub 1. Right now you're probably going, hey, the graphing calculator is going to be a lot easier, right? Maybe. So the first term is negative 3. Now careful. We know that r is negative 2. But when we put that in, we have to make sure that we put it in parentheses, because if we don't, we can really screw ourselves up. So we're going to put negative 2 in there, and we're going to put negative 2 in here in parentheses. So that's the formula. Wow. Let's move that over a little bit. So that's the formula that we're going to put into our calculator to figure out what the answer is. So if we did this the old-fashioned way, let's get our answer. Let's do negative 3 times 1 minus parentheses negative 2 to the 8th parentheses, and then on the bottom we have 1 minus parentheses negative 2 double parentheses equals. So our answer should be 255. Okay, so how would we do this on the calculator? Well, the calculator keystrokes are right here. We do second function stat, like we did in Algebra 1 when we were trying to do regressions. But we're not going to do work with lists. We're going to come over here to operations. And if you look down operations, there it is, number 5, sequence. Now to do this, we have to enter an expression, which means, boys and girls, see, we still have to figure out the formula for this geometric sequence, which we will turn into a series by adding. So, to find any term, we take the first term. Okay, now you see, we would still have to have done all that work we did over here to figure out the first term is negative 3. And then we would have had to do r. We would have still had to do all that work to figure out that r is negative 2. And then it's going to be the n minus 1. There you have it. This is your formula. This is your expression. That's what you're going to enter into your calculator. Your expression is, now I'm going to be careful with all my negatives, negative 3 parentheses multiplied by negative 2, which is in parentheses, to the, which is also in parentheses, x minus 1. My variable is the letter x. I want to start at the first place, and I want to end at the 8th term. Now you were telling me to go to 8 terms. And my step is 1, meaning I want to add up every single one. I want to add up term 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I stepped by 2, since I was starting at 1, I would have added up 1, 3, 5, 7. But we don't step by anything other than 1 in Algebra 2. There it is, my sequence. I press enter one more time. And voila, those are all my terms of my sequence. Get it? There's my first term of -3. Hey, my third term is -2, 4, 5. Hey, look, my sixth term is 96. And you see this little arrow right here? Well, if I went, this is another way to find specific terms. The 8th term is 384, but you still have to generate this sequence in order to do that. So, hey, my answer is 255 because I still have one more step. I have to go back into second function stat, but this time I'm going to go over to math, and I'm going to choose number 5. I'm going to sum up this sequence. So now I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to grab it. See, I'm summing up this sequence. Voila, 255. Is it shorter? I don't know. All right, find the 50th term of the following sequence. Well, we don't know if it's arithmetic or geometric. So once again, we have to look. What did I do to 11.1? Whoops. What did I do to 11.1 to get to 10.9? What did I do to 10.9 to get to 10.7? Well, it looks like I minused 0.2. And I did. So this is an arithmetic sequence. So here we go. To find the 50th term, there we go. We know n is going to be 50. So every time we see an n, we're going to replace it with the number 50. So to find the 50th term, we start with the first term. Do we know what the first term is? Yes, we do. The first term is 11.1. And we add on differences. Do we know what our difference is? Yep, our difference was -0.2. All right, so the 50th term is 11.1 plus -0.2 times 49. So what is, let's come back over here to our calculator. -0.2 times 49 equals 9.8. And then we're just going to add 11.1 to that. And we say that our 50th term is, what was that, 1.3? 1.3. Okay, how would we do that on the calculator? Well, we're still going to have to generate a sequence. So, to find any term. Now here we're not going to tell it to find the 50th term because it's a calculator. It's going to find any term it wants. To find the 50th term, we start with the first term, which is 11.1. See, we would have still had to figure out our difference, which is -0.2. And we're not worried about n, so it's going to be x minus 1 when we put it on the calculator. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to go into stat, over to operations, into my sequence, clear that out, because my new sequence says take 11.1, add on -0.2 times parentheses x minus 1. My variable is x. I'm going to start at 1 and I'm going to go to 50. Or am I? Well, let's just go with this. I'm going to paste. And there's my sequence. Now to find the 50th term, I'd have to sit here and scroll all the way over Do 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 do. La di da, la di da, la di da. Oh, it's raining outside. Do 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 do. Oh, it's still going. Do 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 do. I'd rather do this by hand. Do 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 do. There it is, 1.3. Or did you outsmart me? Did we have to really do 1.3? Let's take a little backwards. Let's go over to this sequence that we had here. Remember what I kept saying? This will generate any term. So, you know what? Hey, dude, start at the 49th term and end at the 50th, please. Boom shakalaka. All right, so maybe it was a little shorter on that one. Okay, so here are your steps. If you want to screenshot this, if you want to write it down, this was how you did a sequence. Second function list, choose operations. The operation we want to choose is sequence. We want to enter in all our information. And then steps to summing up a sequence, same thing, second function stat. Our second step is to now choose math, choose summation. What we have to do then is tab up and re-grab the sequence we entered and press enter for the answer.